Tron. Enter its world this summer.
Hello YouTube, Ultra Maximus back with another 3D review. This time we're going to do Tron Legacy. Ooh, look at it move. Oh, it's awesome. So this is a 5-disc set. I picked this up at Walmart for $55. It's got both the classic Tron in it as well as the new Tron Legacy. This particular disc contains the Blu-ray 3D of Tron Legacy, the Blu-ray 2D of Tron Legacy, a standard DVD copy of Tron Legacy, a digital copy of Tron Legacy, and a Blu-ray 2D of the classic Tron. So this is a pretty decent set, pretty good size. It's pretty hefty. It's probably, oh, I don't know, about as heavy as the other multi-disc set that I've got for 3D. Now, this is what it looks like inside the case. It's the same exact thing, except without the little sticker on the front. Inside, this was kind of cool. There is a little postcard of Tron, and that's blue or blacklight sensitive. And then you've got the multiple disc case. This is pretty typical of the movies nowadays when you get multiple Blu-ray sets. The cool thing is that the discs look like memory discs out of the movie. And then the Tron Classic has got a picture of Tron on it. And then what I liked, the digital copy has got it's kind of the orangish color of the Tron characters. So that's kind of cool. What I want to do is break this into two different reviews. I want to talk about the classic Tron first. I did a 2D rendering of it. And then we'll talk about Tron Legacy. So, like I said, I'm going to bust this into two of them. So let's first talk about Tron Classic. Alright, so Tron Classic, Blu-ray 2D. First of all, fantastic job on rendering it from the original film into Blu-ray. I have not seen the original DVD release of Tron Classic. However, I can tell you from the VHS, it is a glorious difference as far as the render from standard definition to a Blu-ray. It just looks absolutely beautiful, very clear. Disney did a very good job with it. Now, just kind of a backstory. Tron, that was one of the big movies when I was a kid. One of the big Disney films. It's right up there with like Black Hole, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, things like that. In the 80s, I think Black Hole and Tron were probably my two favorite Walt Disney Pictures adventure movies. I remember huge ordeal about Tron when I was a kid in the video game and all that kind of stuff. You know, I remember playing that on the Atari, and it was outstanding. Great story. If you have not seen the original Tron Classic, I would recommend watching this film before you watch Tron Legacy. Graphic-wise, obviously nowhere near what Tron Legacy is. However, they still look pretty decent for the time period. Some notable effects I thought were pretty impressive was the computer desk that Dillinger sits at, and it's, you know, flat black, and he can kind of swing his arm around, and he's got a light keyboard, and it reminds me a lot of Star Trek The Next Generation consoles. Very, very, very advanced effects for the time in the 80s. Now, the basic plot to the original Tron is that a guy named Dillinger has basically run his way up the ranks of the Incom Corporation. He's got a computer program called Master Control program, and he steals the idea for Flynn's video game Space Paranoids and sells it as his own, and then makes tons of cash, rises to the top as the executive of Incom. Meanwhile, Flynn's buddy Alan creates a program called Tron, and it's a security program to look for basically people sneaking in the system, and if it doesn't recognize it, then it's going to eliminate it. It's spyware, anti-spyware software is what it is, and he gets kind of cut out of the whole company. So the basic plot is Flynn writes Clue. Clue is a program that's supposed to go into the Incom systems and find evidence that Dillinger has ripped off Flynn, so that Flynn can get his money, his share of the profits. Well, he hooks up with Alan, and they decide that they're going to help him get in and dethrone Dillinger. Now, the beginning of the film, the Clue program gets de-resed. He gets killed because he's caught by the master program and he's tore out. So then Flynn goes in. He's trying to break in manually with the help of Alan and Laura. And the master program digitizes Flynn and brings the user into the system where Sark, which is a program that's based off of, because all the programs look like the programmers. Sark looks like Dillinger. There's a female character who looks like the female lead, Laura, and then Alan's character is Tron. So he goes into the system, and then he's got this adventure that he's got to go through. So that's the original Tron Classic. Render-wise, I rendered it into 3D. It actually renders very, very well. Not surprisingly, most of the best 3D rendered scenes from 2D to 3D are in the system, okay, on the grid. There's a lot of really great scenes because of the computer graphics that just make it pop out, and the blue screening where the actors are standing, and obviously there's nothing there. It's all animated and computer generated. They pop out a little bit more, so it looks pretty deep as far as image goes in this 2D to 3D render. Probably my two favorite scenes rendered in this film. At the beginning, there's the Incom helicopter bringing Dillinger in, and it's got red neon around it, and they go from the grid, and it fades into this helicopter flying over the city. That looks spectacular. And then the very final scene of the movie, where it kind of does a fast cam res out onto the city, where you see the city lights and the street lights and the cars running across the highway, and they kind of make it look like the grid, sort of. That renders phenomenally. So it's definitely a key film to watch. If you haven't seen the first one, really take a look and watch it, because there's a lot of stuff in Legacy that they're going to reference that you're never going to get if you don't watch this first movie. You can watch Legacy by itself, I think, but it's going to be a lot more fun if you watch this one first, like the scene with the really big door that's noted in both movies when they try to break into Incom. So it's pretty good. I don't know if I would have bought Tron Classic by itself, but since I went and got the combo pack, if you're going to buy Tron Legacy, whether you're going to buy it in Blu-ray 3D or standard DVD or Blu-ray 2D, then I would get the combo pack that has both movies in it. It's definitely worth it. Alright, so let's talk about Tron Legacy. This is going to be interesting because I've seen this movie at the theater in 3D, and now I've seen it in my house in 3D. And there's a difference between the Shutter 3D and the Real D 3D that they use at the theater, so I'll be able to compare the two and what I liked, which one I liked better. Now, before I get into it, Tron Legacy, again, I would probably watch the first one before you see this one. There are a lot of little Easter eggs and little hidden nods that you're not going to pick up unless you've seen the first one. And in fact, a nice little Easter egg in the first movie I noticed today was Pac-Man being on the search board when they're looking for the programs as they escape. So that's kind of fun. Go look for that. Little things like how Flynn's son gets pulled into the grid is very parallel to the way the original Flynn gets pulled in. The door scenes in both movies, like, oh, that's a really big door, when they're trying to break into Incom. Things to that nature very, very much parallel each other. You can watch Legacy without seeing the first one, and it'd be fine as a film, but there's so much more that you're going to pick up if you do watch the classic. So basically, the plot to the second one is Flynn's son. It's focused around him, and he's wrestling with the fact that his dad may or may not have abandoned him at a young age. Turns out Flynn is in the grid. He's become like this Zen guru of the grid, and Olivia Wilde's character is a self-generated program. So life is evolving independently on the grid without users having to create programs. So a lot of spirituality, a lot of religious type stuff in this, which they kind of hinted at in the first movie, but they go into a lot bigger depth into this film. Graphics, much better. This film, so superior in its quality on cinematography and graphics. Obviously, this is what, 30 years later, looks amazing. In fact, the Blu-ray 2D of this movie is spectacular. The colors alone sold me on this. I was blown away by that before I even turned the 3D on. The 3D itself is actually very, very good. I wouldn't say it's spectacular or mind-blowing. However, it is very, very good and very consistent. You don't really get much 3D until you get into the grid itself, but they're very smart at what they do with the 3D. The light cycle scenes, the gaming scenes, the light flares alone look really cool. When the floors pull away or they're being pulled up somewhere, those things look spectacular. Really good stuff. However, I've seen other 3D films like the Galapagos and some other stuff that are just, whoa, I can't believe that. It looks really, really great. Or, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm watching more 3D movies, I'm getting used to this. But they're very consistent and very, very good throughout the film. So it's definitely worth buying on 3D Blu-ray. Now, other really cool things about this DVD set, they have a Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides 3D trailer, which is amazing. The 3D in that trailer is better than any of the 3D in Tron Legacy, but it's also a trailer, so they always put the best bits in a trailer to get you to watch it, and I'm sure they're going to put the best 3D scenes in there, like when swords come bursting out of doors and things like that. Looks spectacular. The 3D quality on the Pirates trailer is as good as the Galapagos 3-feature Blu-ray 3D I have, and that's the 3D movie that I show other people what 3D can do. So very impressive. There's also a Cars 2 trailer in 3D. I wasn't that impressed with it, but then again, I'm not a big fan of that movie either. So all in all, I gotta say that this film, one of my favorites from Disney in a long time. The colors alone in the movie are so rich and so vibrant, and added to it the 3D. I personally would like to have seen a little bit more 3D in the film. However, this is one of Disney's first real big pushes in there, along with Alice in Wonderland. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Pirates 4 in 3D. If you're going to buy Tron Legacy, I would recommend getting the 2-pack, whether it's the Blu-ray 2D version or the 3D version. Your best money bet is to find the 2-movie collection that's got 5 discs. Again, $50 at Walmart, Walmart is now selling 3D movies. So I'll be doing a review on that as well here in the near future. Start to do some 3D roundups, just kind of general news of 3D. So all in all, 2 thumbs up for this movie set. I recommend getting it and adding it to your collection. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep an eye out for more reviews in the future.